Welcome to Washington Square News. This is Op-Ed Live. My name is Omar Etman, and I am joined by Richard Hsu and Lena Rawley to talk about Tinder and the state of modern love. Well, Tinder as like kind of a springboard for the conversation about modern love.
Yes.
Thank you both for joining me.
No problem.
So, I don't know much about Tinder. Richard, I know you know a little more than I do.
Yeah, well, not too much.
Not too much more. I don't, yeah, I don't,
Not in that way.
No, but yeah.
No, but yeah, just looking at Tinder from a purely design standpoint, it's very interesting because it takes this idea of attraction in courtship, which used to be like everyone considered this really long, overwrought, complicated thing, and it reduces it into this like very simple yet very powerful gesture that like we use every day, the swipe, you know, right for yes, left for no. It's very simple, but at the same time, it still carries with it all the weight that it used to. You know, these swipes oftentimes lead to conversations, which lead to, you know, whatever encounter or romantic thing comes afterwards. And I feel like in that way, Tinder is sort of reflective, is a great way to look at the way that our attitudes about modern love have changed, because it reflects those attitudes so quickly and so openly.
Yeah, but the only problem that I have with Tinder, I think Tinder is great in the way that it does equalize male and female attraction, because it shows that a woman can have desire as well, because a woman has the ability to swipe right, showing she thinks the male is hot. And I think that is great, and I think that in that regard, yes, Tinder is progressive. However, I think Tinder is really kind of like it sounds bad, but an awful product of what modern love currently is. And I feel like modern love as of now is really just kind of like this thing where, you know, it's really very, as crass as it sounds, it's hit it and quit it. It's a one hookup and it's never anything more, and this idea of intimacy is totally an anomaly. It fosters a community where a lack of intimacy is normal, and the occurrence of intimacy is something that is totally weird.
It's almost flipped the equation, because before it used to be the intimacy would lead to sex.
Yes,
so it was
exactly.
An escalator, but now the sex comes first and intimacy is built or not.
It used to be that, you know, and I mean I can't speak for this because I didn't, you know, exist in the past, obviously, but like it used to be that, you know, intimacy wasn't this thing that was weird, and now people who want to actually, and when I say intimacy, I want to clarify, it's not sexual intimacy, it's emotional intimacy. That when people want emotional intimacy, it's seen as kind of very strange, because that's not something that is occurring now. What's happening is sex, and then move on.
I think it comes from this like sort of weird modern, you know, everything is coded in 7 layers of irony, and we see love as this sort of hokey artifact of the past.
No, I very much agree with that, because, you know, people, you know, it used to not be that people would look at romantic comedies and think, oh, that never happens. People would, you know, honestly watch them and, you know, believe without any sort of cynicism, without any sort of cynicism that could happen to them. And now I know for a fact that me and a lot of my friends who are girls and who are males will watch romantic comedies and think that doesn't happen, because, you know, the guy never actually.
But Richard, I mean, you kind of hinted at this, like, it's not all bad, modern love. I mean, you hinted that Tinder gives women equal power of their sexuality, because they can swipe right or left.
Right.
Yeah,
this is
as
true.
much.
But at the end of the day, like after the woman like expresses that desire with the swipe, it all kind of boils down to the same stuff it always has, in which, you know, if the guy swipes you back, then you get into a conversation, and with that conversation comes all of the complications that come with traditional gender roles in dating.
Yes, and I do agree with that, but I'm saying that in this modern time, there's complications, and there is this implication that, you know, that after the sex happens, which sex typically doesn't happen in the past on the first date, that after the sex happens, that any sort of relationship or between the two doesn't need to continue. It's a purely primal kind of attraction that is happening currently.
Do you think the more modern love, the Tinder love, can coexist with the traditional love?
I think
that we idolize but don't really see much of?
I think it's possible, because we do see glimmers of hope. You know, we see people meeting, you know, I personally have, but you know, there are people out there who find relationships and meet people that they love through Tinder.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it seems pretty dismal, but I mean, there is the possibility of improvement.
What do you think, Richard?
Like, in the end, we have to remember that Tinder is one app, and it's one app that reflects the attitudes of an admittedly growing, admittedly young, so they're probably going to become like parents one day. So, but it reflects that one aspect of society, and we have to remember that just like this aspect of society has always existed, so will, in the post-Tinder world, the aspect that still believes in romantic love, still believes in, you know, holding hands and kissing and taking it slow.
Yeah.
And that will always exist because that's sort of an integral part of the way that humans have always interacted with each other.
We could talk about this forever, but we're out of time. Thank you so much, Lena, Richard, for joining me. I appreciate it. It's a good topic. Thank you.